Okay, I just put these tights on. I love these.
Waisted pants, these are the new ones.
I'm a paid customer with Tully Lou. I am obsessed with their leggings.
It's Tully and Sarah, and if you don't know, we have an activewear brand called Tully Lou.
And we have Australia's favourite leggings, but not only do we have leggings,
We've got everything that you may need for an active lifestyle. So we want to give you guys an offer if you've never shopped at Tully Lou, or if you've shopped at Tully Lou
and you just want $15 off your next order,
you need to take this offer.
and it's TL Cherry, all caps, all one word. Pop that in at checkout and you will get $15 off.
So head to our website, it's www.tullylou.com, or head to our Instagram, stalk our page, use the code, and let's get you all in some TL. Welcome to Curious Conversations. It's Tully and Sarah. Welcome to our business mini series where we sit down and talk real, raw, honest with some incredible business owners.
We're going beyond the highlight reel to talk about what it really takes to start a business from the ground up. The challenges, the wins, and the lessons that no one prepares you for.
Welcome to Curious Conversations with Tully and Sarah.
We sit down and chat with business owners, entrepreneurs, and some of the best conversation starters.
This is a podcast about real life lessons and people doing cool shit.
Lizzie, I've been waiting for you to sit down on this couch.
Very excited.
I think over a few tequilas, I've been like, you have to come on and talk about your business. And you're like, yeah. And now you're here.
I know. I'm excited. It's funny what a couple of tequila shots
I
can
know.
lead to.
All the good things.
No, because I'm so fascinated by your business, because I remember around probably 2021, everyone getting these PR boxes with this cool foam. And I'm like, what is this? And then one of our close mutual friends, Tully, was like, this is Lizzie's brand. I was like, no way. So Sundae Body is your brand. You co-founded it with
Andrew. Yeah.
Andrew, who I did some investigating. You thought of the idea over a chicken parma.
Yes, and a red wine.
Love that. Always over alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah, best ideas.
Yes, exactly. So we kind of ideated the brand back in COVID, and I think I've told this story like a million times in terms of, we kind of spotted a gap in the body care category, or body wash actually it was. And as we sort of started to build it out, we realised that body care as a larger category was pretty untapped. It was very uninspiring, pretty boring. And we had a lot of time on our hands during COVID, as you know, and a lot of people were going into supermarkets because that was the only place you could go to with all the lockdown laws. And as we were sort of strolling the aisles, we just realised that the category itself was so full of just bland colours. There wasn't any colours. It was like blacks, whites, neutral coloured bottles. And we kind of felt like there was an opportunity to bring a bit of colour, innovation, and something different when it comes to formulation to the category. But what I find really funny, because yesterday we had a bake-off at our company. So we had a company-wide bake-off where we all brought in different desserts.
Fun.
It was really fun. And I was kind of thinking about it because I always tell this story about how it kind of starts at COVID. But what I guess I didn't realise until yesterday is that this whole idea around a brand centred around joy started years ago, because I've always been a baker. Yeah, and I think I always had like a passion for finding niches and trying to come up with something to address that niche. But then I also kind of had a passion for brightening people's day, and I think that's just like a byproduct of being an overworker, and I always forget to slow down. And so 10 years ago I had this baking idea. It was basically a business where it's like kind of like HelloFresh, but it's for healthy desserts, and it's all packaged and portioned up so that you'd say you'd buy a raw chocolate hazelnut cheesecake or something like that, and then it all comes packaged up so that you can just make that cheesecake. Because I don't know if you've ever tried to make healthy treats before, but it's expensive.
It's a lot of elements.
It's a lot, and there's a lot of wastage too. You go and buy a whole bag of almonds to make an almond meal base, and it's like next thing you know it's like $70-$80, and you've just made one cheesecake, and then by the time you go back around to make something else, it might be off. Or so I kind of had that idea, and I was kind of reflecting on it yesterday when I was baking for this bake-off, and I think I always felt like there was something in joy, and
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
building in joy kind of like as a survival tool to your daily routine. And I think I kind of had like a bit of the penny drop moment where I was like, this has kind of been an iteration of that, you know,
Yeah.
that passion. So yeah, we are a body care brand that basically exists to ignite joy.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
I really love that. And sitting
Yeah.
there thinking, I was like, no wonder they started in COVID because people wanted joy. And then I was like, I wonder if like Lizzie now looks at the marketing assets and says like, oh, all the campaigns, there's an
Yeah.
underlying
Have
theme of
to.
joy.
So
Yeah.
when we're obviously talking about the product, I have a question. It's a very unique texture and it does remind you of like the whipped cream
cream.
in the can.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that formula? Because it is very iconic.
Yeah, it's funny. I think like the path to joy is the fastest path to joy is food.
Yeah.
Right? And I think we sort of saw that with all my baking
Mhm.
passions and baking ideas. And when we kind of had this idea around reigniting the body wash category, it kind of just happened naturally that I was like, it's got to be a different format firstly. And,
Yeah.
and there's only really 3 ways you can deliver like a surfactant, so a soap. So gel, bar soap, and then a foam.
Did you have any background in
No,
any of this?
no, none. So we engaged a chemist and she kind of, and I was like, let's do something different, something that's really challenges what you'd normally associate with a body wash, really want it to like ignite all the senses, you know, the
Oh, I love
touch,
that, yeah.
feel. And she was like, I don't know what to tell you. There's like a gel, there's a bar soap, and then
there's
a
a foam.
foam. And I remember feeling really deflated. And then I thought about it and I was like, why wouldn't you just make the foam thicker, creamier, and then position it as whipped cream?
Yes.
And I was like, who doesn't love whipped cream? Who doesn't love food? You know, put that in the bathroom. It's a bit novel. And then have the packaging really elevated so that it wasn't just a really novel, you know, product that you kind of use once and get over it. But yeah, that's kind of how we landed on the formula.
Yeah.
So you got the formula. I know you pitched it and you released it into Coles and Woolies before you even had a website.
Yeah, it was Woolworths and Priceline.
Priceline.
And then Coles came a year later with our kids range.
How does that work? You don't even have a website,
Like, no
but
data, nothing.
You've already distributed a product to the big chains.
Yeah.
How does that go?
It was so it was just it was during COVID. So I pitched over Zoom. So that was like challenge number 1. And then challenge number 2 is the minimum order quantities are really large for our product. So at the time it was 10,000. And we hadn't done a run. So I actually didn't have like a finished product to show them. So I got a white can sample, wrapped the artwork around it, the cap, because we have to have a tooling machine or we have to make a tooling machine to make the cap. It wasn't even the cap. It didn't fit on it. It was a 3D print of the cap. And so I'm sitting there on Zoom like, this is great. You know?
Like, don't break.
Yeah. And I was like trying to make it look like the cap was sitting on perfectly. But what we did do was pull together a pretty compelling pitch deck. And I think that largely really focused on the purpose and what we brought to the consumer that wasn't just, hey, it's a functional body wash, it washes your body. It was like, no, there's something in bringing joy to mundane moments like having a shower. And here's how we're going to do it with unique packaging, you know, fragrances, colour, and it's all kind of rooted in that purpose of igniting joy. And I think it obviously worked because the buyers saw some opportunity there and then signed us on, and next thing you know, we've launched into 1,200 doors and we hadn't even turned on our e-com
That's
website yet.
crazy. If anyone's listening and wants to pitch a product to a brand, maybe they're existing or they haven't like sold any product or anything, what would your number 1 advice be? Mine is always like, fake it. Just be like, it sounds similar. Like, what would your number 1 advice be?
I think nail your why and your purpose.
Yeah.
And I think in terms of what you're bringing to the category, the consumer, everything has to ladder up to that why. And I think a really strong purpose or brand purpose is very, very compelling because it not only tells the buyer why you exist, but it also tells them where you're headed as well. So, you know, we didn't have a 12-month product roadmap mapped out at that point. You know, we just had our body washes, had some ideas around a moisturizer, But I think in the absence of that, having a strong purpose, it kind of tells the buyer, okay, this is the trajectory and the path we're heading on, so they can see potential.
They're investing in you, right?
Yeah,
they want to make
exactly.
money out of it at the end of the day. So if you give the hard sell of like how it's going to add value to their business, how can they say no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think as well at the time, the timing was really right for us as well. Like the people were going to supermarkets 3-4 times a week just for something to do. The category was really uninspiring, and I think they saw an opportunity to kind of bring that lipstick effect into the body wash category. I don't know if you've seen that term floating around in terms of it's just that little bit of luxury, accessible luxury that you can have, you know, when you don't have big budgets to go to the spa and all those kind of things, which we couldn't do during
Brings that little
COVID.
bit of joy.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all it does.
And the one thing that I love about your product as well is there is, I don't know what flavor it is, but there is one flavor that takes me back to my childhood, and it makes me so, like, it gives me joy. It makes me really happy. And every time I smell it, I'm like, oh, just takes me back to my childhood when there was no worries in the world. And I'm like, I love that feeling.
I think the nostalgia, tapping into nostalgia has been a really big one for us because you know, whipped cream is nostalgic as a food. I mean, I can't remember the last time I ate whipped cream out of a can as an adult, but I certainly did as a kid. But I think also just bringing elements of childhood back into sort of that everyday life.
Yeah, a bit of play.
Exactly.
We take life so seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only, I don't know if you want to hear this or you know this, but your product is also, this is so embarrassing, very good to clean shower glass. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yes.
I think we've done that before.
No, I have. So I saw a
with
TikTok about it because I hate cleaning the shower. And I saw a TikTok saying that shaving cream is really good for cleaning the shower. And I was like, oh, and one day I was like, I'm just going to try this Sunday, and it works a treat. So that's a hack for you if you need content.
I have not heard that one before.
Yeah.
You know,
we had to do it on something else as well, and we only had Sundae Body at your place.
Yeah, and it works an absolute treat.
That is good to know.
Yeah. So
Really
not only for the body,
not only for the body, but for everywhere else in the bathroom.
What's your background when it comes to business? Like, were you nervous doing these pitch decks? How were you going into all these big meetings? Like, did you fake it till you make it? What was your attitude?
Yeah, I think my background in business is nothing. But I have a background in marketing.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did a lot of pitches. I was on the pitch team at my advertising agency that I was at prior to Sundae. I've always been in marketing, so kind of that really helped to form the brand, the pitch. So I was quite confident pitching and I actually quite love it. It's like my favourite part of my job.
Yeah.
But in terms of running a business, no background, no experience. That has been a bit of a like fuck around and find out basically, because it's everything from the operational side of things to cash flow, you know, even just running a team and building a team. So that's all been a learning that I've had to kind of make up as I go along.
What's been the most challenging out of all those elements? Because I know it is, cash flow is very hard. For us, like ordering product and make sure you've got product not being sold out so the customer's not waiting. Like, what is the biggest challenge for you?
The biggest challenge I think I think every business has growing pains. You know, you've got resourcing challenges, operational challenges. I think something that's unique to Sundae that's been challenging for us probably has been bringing that joy element to shelf. Like I've found retail and navigating retail really difficult because it's not my background. And so that whole retail piece, which is the majority of our business, has been quite challenging in terms of, you know, ascertaining what assortment goes in each retailer to make sure that, you know, we are bringing the rainbow to shelf, because that's a really key part of our proposition in terms of having a rainbow. We can't have all SKUs that are all pink because it doesn't stand out and pop. And I think navigating that has been really challenging, but also just the unique packaging proposition as well. That's a really core part of the business. And to bring unique packaging, you need tooling, and that's really expensive. So having to kind of, I guess, assess the cost of product innovation and then trying to provide it at an affordable price point has been really, really challenging as well. And I think we are retail dominant, and it is very, we take our social media and digital platforms for granted because we grew up on it. But they're so powerful in storytelling and visuals. When in the absence of that in retail on shelf, you don't have that. So it's been really challenging for us to, okay, how can we bring our purpose around that joy piece? How can we draw shoppers in and really buy into the brand when we don't have, the visuals and the digital storytelling to go along with it?
When you say you're retail dominant, I don't think people comprehend how retail dominant you are. I think you're in 7,000 stores.
Yeah.
6
globally.
countries.
Yeah.
How do you get that and branding across to the different countries as well? Because each market's so different. Yeah. How do you focus on that? Like the juggle of it?
It's challenging. It's funny that you mentioned that, because I literally had a call with our Ireland distributor on Tuesday night, and it's around we need to introduce an approvals process because we want to be able to deliver, the brand in our way into that market. But of course, we don't have the resource to be able to do tailored assets for every single market, and so we are sort of introducing a process where we get approvals and just some oversight on how our brand is represented in the market. And that's been a big challenge for us because we are a small team. We're only a team of 9.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so for us to be in 7 countries, it's hard because you've got campaigns going on every week and activations and events and mailers. And it's been a challenge to manage. But we just fall back on process, right? So we have our distributors in every market, and that's been amazing. And that's helped us keep the team quite lean and concentrated on marketing, which is kind of our special sauce. And that's what we do best. And so we have distributors where we sell them the product, and then they sell it into the retailers and manage that relationship. Yeah, so they manage the direct retailer.
I like that.
It's good.
It's a bit more streamlined.
It's more streamlined. Look, they take a cut. We get a less margin.
Yep.
But I think it's, to answer your question, it's beneficial because they know their market.
Yeah.
So, for us to try and create a campaign, the perfect example is Ireland, actually. We were like, okay, we'll lean into the whipped cream. We're launching with the shower foams to start off with. And they were like, we don't really use whipped cream here.
Oh.
Yeah. And so we were like, okay, so what would you associate this kind of formula with? And they were like, icing on a cake, like piping.
Oh.
And so we're like, okay, so we pivoted and sort of the campaign platform is the icing on top of your shower routine, for example. So it's having that local market expertise and then just tweaking our messaging. And so that's been really invaluable in making sure that we can kind of have that local market cut through without having to, employ a team for Ireland or Scandinavia or
How many years were you in the business did you launch in the United States first?
We launched in Australia first.
Oh, sorry, after Australia.
After Australia. We launched into the UK after.
Okay.
And then we launched into, Ireland, US. So the US came on board about year 3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your biggest market at the moment?
Our biggest market is it's probably the UK.
Really?
Yeah, we've expanded a lot there. It's doing really, really well in the UK.
What would you put that down to?
I think it's retail fit, and I think that the consumer there is the beauty consumer there is very evolved in the UK. They've got Boots, for example, which is one of the retailers that we're in, and they've got the most innovative products, and I think the appetite for innovation and trying something new is a lot larger there. So the UK, we've gone from, I think we're in over 3.5, like maybe 3,000 doors there as well.
Wow.
Like it's definitely starting to overtake our home market, but obviously the population's a lot bigger.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing with Australia.
Yeah.
We've always said that it's like if you crack even 1% of a different market, you're laughing compared to Australia.
Absolutely.
But you had challenges going into the UK market.
It was hard. Yeah, we started on a direct model, so using no distributor. So we had an agent that would basically liaise with the retailers. However, we owned the stock. We were responsible for shipping the stock. which also meant we were beholden to the retailer payment terms, which aren't as
Cash flow.
Yeah, it's
cash
hard.
flow. Yeah, and then also we just completely underestimated time on the water that it would take. It took our first container like 6 months to get there.
6 months.
It's so long.
Wow.
Yeah. So basically by the time we had to pay our manufacturer, and then by the time we sort of got the payments from the retailers, which you know, was an extended payment term, because you've kind of got to wait the 6 months to get it there, receipt it into the warehouse, then ship it out, and then your payment terms start. And then it's like 60 days from when they get it.
Yeah.
But by then you're like 8 to 12 months down the track of this cash flow gap of when you've had to pay for that stock and
it's hard.
when you get paid. And we just realised we in order to scale as quickly as we wanted to, we needed to work with a distributor to manage that.
Had you ever worked with a distributor before?
We have one in Australia, so we launched with one in Australia.
Okay. I've never worked with one, so I don't exactly know how it works or the model or anything.
I'm a big fan of distributors.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know if that's like a common opinion. I think a lot of people, you know, they might get a bit shocked at the margins that they take in terms of, you know, the retailer might take a, you know, say a 50% margin, and then the distributor might take anywhere from 30 to 50% as well. So your margin definitely takes a hit, but what you save in, you know, expertise, ability to scale, cash flow. They also manage all the promotions. And as I mentioned before, like I have no retail experience. So if a retailer came to me and said, you know, we want to run a 50% off, I'd be like, okay, but I wouldn't know where to start on, like, am I going to lose money on this? How often do I need to run them? Do I need to put a shelf ticket along with it? And that comes with extra cost too. So it kind of just removes all of that, and you just sell to one customer, and then they manage all the retailers in that market.
Sounds easy.
Yeah, it does sound easy. I'm like, what can we do in introduce a distributor? Out of all like the last, you know, 4 years or so, what's been like your biggest pinch me moment? Like, is there a retailer, or did you see someone with your products? What can you say is your pinch me moment?
It would be Walmart, definitely, because we'd expanded. We're in Australia, New Zealand, UK, and at that point, I think we were in talks with. No, I think that was it. And then I remember just going, okay, that's enough, guys. We just need to really make sure that the UK is successful. Let's just put a pause on opening new markets. But then at the time on LinkedIn, I was getting a lot of inbound requests from American retailers, American brokers, and I was like, okay, this is too many to ignore. There's something here. The timing must be right for that market. So we regrouped and we just go, okay, well, we have no experience in America and we don't know. It's such a big country, and I think I was a bit scared. And so what we did was we went to a trade show in America, and we were like, let's just suss out, you know, interest. You know, are consumers actually interested in it? And then let's also kind of get a gauge on the price point and just do some testing in the market, go and visit stores, have a look what else is out there, and just do a bit of a recce. So in that trade show, I lost my voice at the end of it. It was like 2 days, and it was just constantly pitching to retailers, buyers, and then they had some consumers come through as well. And I didn't know, but Walmart came through.
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah, they didn't actually disclose that they were from Walmart. And then we got an email from Walmart at the hello@sundaebody.com email. So like the generic customer service one. And it was, I spoke to Lizzie at this trade show and we'd like to explore, taking the brand on board, and also rolling us into their, it was called the Walmart Start program. So basically means they take you under their wing and make sure you succeed on shelf for 2 years. So that was, I think they only choose like 5 brands a year. So that was a massive,
that's so nice.
massive pinch me moment. Yeah.
That's crazy.
What have you learned from doing that program with them?
What I've learned is that the US is really tough, and I think what we've learned is that I guess you really have to have boots on the ground for America. And so we were lucky that we found a distributor, which actually wasn't easy. There's not a lot of distributors in America. They mainly operate on like a broker system or like an agent system, which is kind of how we're operating in the UK. And I think from us, I think we launched into 1,800 doors. And I think the biggest learning is that you have to really work to stay on shelf because there are thousands of brands waiting in the wing just to take your spot. And it's been a pretty cutthroat and brutal process in terms of, you know, sales might drop for a week and then you'll get an email and it's like you've got to do something. So we just don't, we're not as
What do you
reactive.
do to turn that key back on for the US market when something like that happens?
Yeah, it's an interesting one because it is unlike any other retailer that we work with. So they promote everyday low price, which means the quickest way to, I guess, improve performance is to run a promo. 30% off, 40% off, whatever it might be. But they don't do promos because they promote everyday low price. So those quick levers that we
usually pull here,
here, we don't have access to in Walmart. So it's kind of really heavily digital focused. So it'll be like tightening up the targeting to around the stores. It'll be rolling out influencer UGC content and just basically doing as much online that we can and really trying to hone in on where the Walmart stores are, because I think there's definitely over 4,000 or 5,000 doors. We're in 1,800 of them. So it doesn't make sense for us to be advertising to the whole of America. That would also cost us an arm and a leg.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's just making tiny tweaks here to try and get more targeted and cut through to the consumer.
Yeah. I wonder, what's out of all the Walmart stores, I find America so fascinating. Where would be the best selling store for you? Like what location, state?
It's Middle America.
Is it?
Yeah. Middle
Most
America.
people are.
Yeah,
interesting.
That was a learning as well because we just thought when we launched there, we did a diner takeover event where we took over a diner.
I saw that. That was cool.
Fun.
Yeah,
but that was in LA, and we just thought that's where a lot of the influencers
are.
But it's not our key area when it comes to the Walmart customer. Target, sure, but not.
I suppose
Walmart.
LA Walmart. The only really Walmarts are like out kind of. They're not like in LA. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
There's been a lot of learnings, and I think Walmart in particular operates so differently to every other retailer, and that's been a really interesting learning curve as well.
Yeah. How do you deal with copycats?
Good question.
There's
been a few.
Yeah, I saw Kmart do something and I was like, oh, geez, that looks like Sundae Body.
Yeah. Look, I think it's funny because when we were formulating it, I guess the longest period of time in the formulation process was the fragrance selection, because what we'd find is that we'd have a fragrance, smell the concentrate, love it. And then you'd put it in the formula and it would smell completely different. So that was the longest time. And so the product development time for our first 4 shower foams, it was about 18 months. So it's really funny because after we launched and then started to gain momentum, you can actually kind of time in which the other brands, because you're like, oh, okay, you know how long it takes to make that product, also the tooling for the cap and things like that. So yeah, it's kind of like we had no copycats for ages and then suddenly
everywhere.
They were everywhere. I think for us, we are pretty well set up from a trademark perspective, and that's all you can do, and just focus on what your brand is doing and what you're good at and what your special sauce is, and then just dialing up that special sauce. So it's like, I heard this analogy, it's like when you're too busy turning left or right, like looking left or right, you're not moving forward. And I think that's how I try and approach copycats, because, you know, if I'm looking at what they're doing and I'm just not focusing on my business.
Distracted,
Yeah. So I think for us it was, you know, we just have to really dial up why we're here and the proposition that we bring to the customer. And that's really rooted in our brand purpose. And I think just making sure that we're constantly innovating and constantly creating new products as well, and just trying to stay ahead of it. But just focusing on what we're good at.
Yeah. So how many products in the line? Because I know you've got a product coming out soon.
Yeah.
But I don't know what that is.
It's a new category, which is really exciting.
Okay,
it's
fun.
only like 2 weeks away.
Oh my gosh, how exciting.
Yeah, it's really exciting. So we're in, so we have our our cleanse category in the body wash category. We've got our body moisturizers. We've got a sun care range. We have a kids range as well. And then we've got this new category coming out. But in terms of the products, there's a lot, because there's so many fragrance variations per category, and that kind of ladders back to the amount of retailers that we're in, and the assortment that we bring to each one has to be unique and different. So we have I think of the shower foams alone, we would have at least over 40 SKUs.
Wow.
There's been a lot.
What's your best selling product, like scent or
Scent.
product?
Birthday cake.
Yeah, that is nice. Yeah.
Yeah, birthday cake has been a really popular. That birthday cake was meant to be a limited edition, and now it's
I
just
think I got sent that. I think we read before it sold like 1.4 million. Was it 1.4?
You
I have
tell
to
me.
check the notes. Like, let me look. I thought
Do you
it was
know that off the top of your
I
head
don't.
how many cans
No.
you've sold? Nah.
No, I know that it's a
Let me
funny
look.
one where we've just been able to unlock manufacturing of 1 million units a month.
that
Whoa,
you have
that's
sold
huge.
over 1.2 million units of this flavor alone.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's crazy.
It's a
Do you
lot.
ever think like, holy shit, I created that?
I wish I could say yes. I wish I could say
Really?
yes to that. I just don't reflect enough because there's just so much going on that you just like,
Yeah, always.
what's the next thing? And I think, I need to get better at reflecting and just slowing down and like, appreciating all the success.
your
but I'm
wins.
just, I don't. I wish I could lie to you and say I do, but I
You
can't.
can't lie to me. What I want to know is, how does business Lizzie and personal Lizzie balance her life?
I think balance is a lie when you run your own business, but I think what I have developed are boundaries.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Yeah. I think anyone that tells you that they balance their personal life and work life well, if they run it, or even if you,
I kind of agree.
if you are hard worker, there's just no such thing. It's so
Yeah.
hard.
I think our girlfriend said this to me, or they've said it to you numerous times since you've had Roller, and it's probably the best advice I've heard. You can have it all, but you can't have it all at once.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree with that. I actually listened to a podcast the other day with Raquel from Who Is Elijah.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And she was doing a video and she was like, I don't believe in balance. Like, yeah, I've got 2 kids, but like you're always on. But I like how you said boundaries.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's so true. You can set
What
a boundary.
do you mean by that?
So it'll be like my mornings are non-negotiable. I do Pilates and
Yeah.
I take the dog to the dog park, and I don't deviate from that, and that's
Yeah.
what sets me up for the day.
Yeah.
So that's like a boundary that I protect, and it is quite hard because I can't, like most mornings I would say that I stick to it, and there might be like once a month that I'll go, okay, allow myself to
Look at my phone
skip
or
that,
something, yeah.
or like we might have, it's hard because you manage international markets, so different time zones, so I might have a call with the US and I'll have to do that, but then I'll always make sure that I do Pilates after or in the afternoon, and it's kind of like just setting boundaries around that. And then as well, like a good one that I have is not saying yes immediately to anything.
Oh, wow. I need to do
Anything.
that.
So it's like whether it's a new business opportunity, even a podcast or anything like that, it's like I just need to just think about it, plan,
Oh my God,
see if I'm
that's-
going to be, what's happening in that week where it's going to stress me out more
How
than
do you
it's worth it.
politely say nothing at that time?
Oh,
I'll get back to you.
My thing is like, I can
I
see.
like that.
Yeah, no, I do
Because,
too.
no-
But then the guilt comes up. It's like,
No, I
think-
really like that because I do that a lot when I get invited to events or something on email. I'm like, oh, yeah, that'd be great. Yes, yes, yes. And then the day of, I'm like,
yeah.
why did I say yes? I should stop, think about it. Do I really want to go to that? Is that going to give me joy?
Yeah.
Is it going to give me I don't know. That's
it's
great.
kind of like that value / reward, and then versus the effort piece. It's like, okay.
yes.
And I think it's exciting when you get an opportunity and you're like, oh, yes.
Mm.
And that's great, but just pause
Think
and
about
just
it.
be like, okay, well, how much effort or what's it going to take from me to be able to do that? So I think that's been really helpful, and it even extends to my personal life. It's like, do you want to go for dinner Saturday? And
Oh, I need to do
I'll just wait a day and just
Yeah.
and then reply and just work out what I'm doing closer to, because so much can happen in a week and so
Yeah.
much can change.
Yeah.
And then, you might start the week going, this is a quiet week. And then
And
you end it and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm stuffed. There's no way I could go for dinner. So,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah,
Yeah.
like when you mentioned that, you don't know what to say, like, it's not like I leave them on red, but I'll just be like, I'll come back to you.
Yeah.
It's a good way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just in a meeting, or I'm just having a busy day, I'll come back to you. And then it's like a placeholder.
Yeah,
no, I
like that.
I like that too, because it's just like, you can over promise people sometimes and then you're like so stressed about it.
And I think it's worse too because I'm a big canceller, and because I'm just like, I protect my peace at all costs.
Yeah.
So, and it's not good. Like, I'm not proud of it. Like, I hate cancelling on friends, and it makes me feel like shit. And then I don't want to.
You don't want to be
But then
that
you also have to
person.
protect
Hate it.
yourself too. I get
That's
it. I'm a
right.
little bit like that.
Yeah,
and
but
I feel bad, but
Sometimes I just don't even invite you now because I know you
Yeah.
won't come.
if I don't reply within
I would
like
rather that.
3 working
Don't invite me to more things,
I
please.
went out to dinner last night and I was like, our friend was like, oh, like, what about Tal? I was like, I think she'll probably just want to stay home. It's a Wednesday night. Then I see her, I'm like,
It's
oh,
hard
I'm
when
going
I've got a child.
I know,
It's
that's-
like, it's either I'm like, yeah, I'd like to go out for dinner, but then I do love my nights with her and it's not going to be forever that she's going to be cuddling me on the couch. So
I
I'm
knew
like,
that.
yes.
Yeah.
I knew that.
Exactly.
So
I
you've
wouldn't have
had
gone.
heaps of people come to you now for other business opportunities?
No,
Oh, really?
not at all.
I thought that from the success you would have had, people would see your processes and procedures and be like, okay, I want you to be a part of what we're doing over here.
No.
Would you be open
Oh.
to it if someone came to you, or were you fully just Sunday?
I'm just fully Sunday.
Yeah, I love
like
that.
that.
Yeah, don't know where
Committed.
I'd find the bandwidth.
Yeah.
Should
But also,
cancel on you.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I'm like, Sunday is all consuming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have the headspace bandwidth to
Do you have a
do
long-term
anything.
goal for Sunday?
Just to grow it more.
Yeah.
I think we've got a lot to do in terms of new markets and retailers and the product expansion as well. Like, I really want to get into more categories and I guess just really cement the whole bringing joy to everyday moments. I think there's so many more moments that we can lean into. I think we've just scratched the surface when it comes to body care. I think there's a lot that we can bring to everyday life.
Yeah.
So I think just growth and I love it. Like, I really love, like, ask me at the end of the day and I'll be like, I'm quitting.
Yeah, I'm done. We all have those thoughts,
Yeah.
don't we?
I'm done.
Yeah.
But when I have a moment to sit and chat to you, like you
Yeah.
guys
Yeah.
about it, and you think about, you talk about all the things that have happened. I really do love it. It's like
Yeah.
a passion of mine. I can't
Yeah.
imagine doing anything else.
I hope you walk away from this and just be like, reflect and just be like, yeah, shit, I have done amazing things the last 4 years, because you do. You're so go, go, go that you don't, like you said, but really reflect because it's amazing.
And I feel like when you speak to people about it, you leave and you've got another win. I know we do. Like when we sit down with people and then it's like, okay, we're ready to go again. Like, do you have a business mentor? I know every time we sit down with our business mentor, it's like we've got this fire in our belly to go out and do more.
I don't.
Really?
Oh,
You
you
should
should
find-
yours?
yeah.
Do you know
He's
what?
amazing.
He is amazing.
Yeah. He's actually,
Then
his
how did you
specialty is
learn
growth.
everything?
Are
you just-
trial and error, but
Okay.
also like distributors have taught us a
Oh, that's
lot as
good.
well. And then you just kind of ask around.
Mm,
Hey,
yeah.
I'm struggling with, warehousing. Do you know anyone? And they're like, oh, put you onto someone. And you just kind of just
Yeah. I think being surrounded around the right people, there's this whole thing in Australia about tall poppy syndrome and stuff. And yes, some way I do agree, but if you surround yourself around the right people, they're willing to help.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really good tip for anyone listening who just surround yourself around those people, because they will give you advice and help, I think.
absolutely.
Well, I hope they do. So we do.
I know.
Yeah. Over help.
Overhelp.
Yeah.
I love that.
I do
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I get a lot of DMs asking for questions around like, hey, I'm pitching to Woolworths. Do you have any tips and things like that? And I love like helping and giving
Yeah.
advice, because I didn't have that at the start.
Yeah.
So I have that now. Like I'm
Yeah.
sure, there's a million people you can ask as you grow your business, you network and grow your network. But I think I really I get a kick out of
Yeah,
helping
it's
people.
nice.
It's nice.
Yeah, I think so too. And we've got this big thing. It's like karma. What goes around comes around. We help you. Someone is
Down the
going to help
track,
us somewhere. Yeah.
We might need help and someone will help us.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Final question. What do you wish you knew before you started this business?
Well, that's a good question.
I think I think it would be progress over perfection. I think I'm a perfectionist. Like I'm like, I think, and it actually.
Sorry, I'm just looking at Sarah.
Are you?
Yeah,
You're
but that's
you
also
too?
one of my favourite quotes I've learnt this year.
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best. I love this quote because I'm a perfectionist and it actually got in the way and it slowed me down. I remember listening to podcasts, reading articles, Googling, like everything about, e-com to operations. And the next thing you know, I just had this huge giant list of all the things that all the other businesses have done
Mm.
that I felt like I needed to now do.
Yeah.
But then I just remember feeling frozen, and I was like, oh, this is really overwhelming. And also, you know, you got to take it with a grain of salt. Just because it worked for their business doesn't mean it works for yours. And I just wish in that moment I was just moving forward.
Yeah.
Because I think, you get caught up in, I remember doing, like, I think it was like 4 or 5 rounds on a press release. Like, come on, Lizzie.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Just pick one.
Come on, babe. Like,
Yeah,
keep moving.
yeah.
Do you know? And it's like, no, this isn't, we just moved these 2 words. And I was like,
Yeah.
Come on.
on. So it's just things like that I was just like perfecting when I could have been trying that or doing that and just moving forward. And I think, that if I'd known that at the start, I feel like I wouldn't have beaten myself up so much, firstly. I think it's probably more, we might have grown a little quicker. I don't really know. But it's more the internal dialogue that I think would have helped me a lot more. Because I really struggled in the first 2 years of the business, just feeling like I wasn't doing enough, wasn't good enough, wasn't moving fast enough. And
How did you overcome that?
I
think we all go through those conversations in our head.
Like comparing yourself.
Yeah.
How did have I overcome it? Look, it's definitely gotten better. I think that's a hard one.
Yeah. I think we all deal with that. So it's so hard to answer.
I think when you get so busy and I think as the business grows, you get busier, right? And so you actually don't have a choice.
Yeah.
But to not ruminate over things and try and perfect things, you've just got to be like, yep,
go.
that'll do. It's not perfect, but let's get it out.
Yeah.
I just thought about it then in that split second. I think it's having confidence in yourself, but building that confidence up. Like, you know that you're a counsellor, and if you cancel on someone, that means you don't keep your word. But you know that now, so you don't do it. So you're not breaking that trust of your word with yourself. So it's these little actions that you don't skip your daily habits. It's building confidence in your day-to-day actions that you're like, oh no, I've got this. Like, I can do this. And I think it's those little things that compound.
Yeah.
And I think it's the more new things that you try and it works out, that also helps to bring your confidence levels up.
Yeah.
So and naturally with business, as you grow your business, as you've been in business for however many, oh my gosh, sorry, side quest. I saw your post on Tully Lou about your over the timeline.
It's been a long time.
Oh my gosh, I loved it. Sorry, I just love that. But over time, you try new things, and then if it succeeds, that helps you go, oh, okay, that worked.
Yes, you get confidence.
You get confidence.
Yeah,
and so the wins outweigh the mistakes, and I think that just happens as a natural progression of just as you go on in business.
So true, but it's definitely a common thing, I think, with a lot of businesses and founders.
Yeah. I think the comparison culture is insane.
Well, especially with social media, it's really hard.
It's so hard.
And we're all guilty of it.
Really.
In different elements of our life. Well, I am.
100%, but it's catching yourself in that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And not letting it get you down, letting it inspire you rather than like bog you down.
Yes. I heard someone say that once. When you can see jealousy or you're aware you're jealous in someone else's life, right, flip that and be inspired by their life. I was like, oh, that's a good one. That's good.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Well,
you beat me to it.
You do it.
Thank you so much for coming on. It's been such a joy. It's inspired me.
No, and I want you to expand everywhere, and I want you to have all the success ever. I'm like, go do it, girl. Go do it.
Come on, cheers, squad. No, thank you for having me. It's been so fun.
Yay. Thank you.